Connecting the Carolinas to nearby smaller communities by air has been a challenge for years. That's why the federal government stepped in to help. And tonight, Chief Transportation Correspondent Hawker Vanguard joins us now live at Charlotte Douglas Airport. And Hawker, where are these new connections out of Charlotte heading?
I guarantee you two places that you may not have heard of before: Parkersburg, West Virginia, and Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And these are flights operated by Contour Airlines. It's a smaller regional airline based in the middle of the country, and we already flew to one city, which was Beckley, West Virginia. So here in Charlotte, those Contour Airlines flights are daily and sometimes sporadic throughout the week. But what we're dealing with here is some essential air service routes, and you're really getting a private jet experience on some of these very smaller jets. It's a really cool time if you can get on one, but they really serve a specific purpose, Brian.
Yeah, and also I understand that the cost for these are pretty cheap to go here to these cities. And how do they stay in business, and why are they so cheap here, and how do they stay so low?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking $69 tickets, and that's really cheap, even though that's one way. It's all part of the Essential Air Service. So that's a program through the federal government and the Department of Transportation that connects larger cities like Charlotte to smaller cities like Beckley, Muscle Shoals, and Parkersburg. And the reason behind that is we want to have our smaller communities connected to resources here in the big cities. So that could even be medical issues, resources, supplies. They really serve a vital lifeline, and they cut the commute time between these cities sometimes by a fourth. You can make a 45-minute flight in what would take you 5 hours, but it's a very important connection to the rest of the country, Brian.
Absolutely. My dad grew up in Beckley. I get it. I may have chose the Greenbrier myself, but that's just me. But I understand it's important here. Hey, I do want to ask you, though, right now we're just getting some information here about a lot of new cancellations out of Charlotte Douglas right now. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, Brian, I'm actually standing next to the departures and the arrival boards, and between the two of them, we're looking at about 17 departure and arrival cancellations. The latest to come down, I'm just looking here now, is to Dallas-Fort Worth. American Airlines has canceled 2 flights back-to-back, and that's a huge impact to people traveling in the upcoming days. And then United and American both just canceled their flights to Chicago O'Hare. So if you have any travel plans starting today or tomorrow, I would take a look at the American Airlines app, United Airlines app, whoever you're flying, before you head out to the airport, because if you need to rebook, it's usually best done digitally on your device rather than waiting on the phone or talking to somebody here at the airport. Yeah. But Brian, for now, we'll send it back to you.
Absolutely, Hawker. Do not want to sit at the airport. Extended time, especially heading into the weekend with all the weather happening. All right, thanks, bud.